Good morning. Welcome to the Bond Sunday morning services. Thank you so much for being with me. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. You can get involved by calling 1-800-411-2663, 1-800-411-BOND. You can also email me, church@bondinfo.org, church@bondinfo.org, and put your name in town on your emails. And I do appreciate that. And good morning again here, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning. I realize that our battle is a spiritual battle between good and evil, right versus wrong. The Bible says that we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against spirits and principalities and wickedness in high places. And so for the last 20 years or so, 24 years now, I can clearly see that is happening. And the more, as I mature, I see it even more so. As I mature spiritually, I can see it even more so. I want to get your feedback, and I'm glad my good friend Ozzy is here today. I was thinking of her this morning because I know that...
I'm a Democrat.
You're what?
Democrat.
You're a Democrat.
Yes.
But I want to talk to you about this George Zimmerman and Trayvon Martin situation down in Sanford, Florida. Just for those that may not know about it. Anybody don't know about the story? George Zimmerman shot and killed Trayvon Martin. And they thought that George was white, but they found out that he's Mexican. But before they found out that he really wasn't white, they were already out there rallying around the country, right? And then they found out that George was a Mexican. Now they're saying that he's a white Mexican. They're literally saying that.
Saw his picture on TV.
You did what?
I knew he was Mexican when I saw his picture on TV. He wasn't white.
I know, but before the rally started, everybody thought he was a white man. But now they found out he's Mexican, but he's a white Mexican, so the whiteness is still there.
He's Peruvian.
He's Peruvian?
Peruvian.
So he's not a Mexican?
No.
Hispanic.
A Peruvian is not a Mexican?
From South America. From
It's a
Peru.
different country.
You say he's Hispanic?
Yes.
Yeah, Hispanic.
What's the difference between a Mexican and a Hispanic?
Mexicans are from Mexico, and Hispanics come from a whole bunch of different
Spanish speaking.
But they all look alike.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't. So all you guys look alike. All you black people look.
Look at Francisco. Look at Francisco is a Hispanic, black Hispanic.
How many times do you call me Mexican?
And the only time I know that he's a Mexican is when I go over to his mother's house and they're all there and they're all just talking. And they never shut up. And they're all loud. And that's how I know that they're Mexican. But
They're not.
he still look like a black person. So don't blame me if I'm confused. But whatever he is, he's not a white man. That's the point I'm trying to make. But before I get into this whole thing, I would like some honest feedback about how you, the men and women here, see this situation. And I want your honest feedback about it, not what you think I want to hear or what I'm going to say about it and all that kind of stuff. Even if you heard me talk about it on the radio show, I still want to know your honest feedback about this George Zimmerman and Trayvon Martin situation. Is that fair?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Ozzy, what do you think about it?
Totally ugly. Totally ugly.
And speak up for
To me, if he had to shoot, and I said for a lot of people, these people carrying guns, they have to shoot. They don't have to shoot to kill.
Would they shoot to play?
Well, to me, they can cripple him. That boy was 17 years old. Cut his life down at 17 years old. The reason why, I don't know. The child only had a soda and a candy bar in his pocket. You know, I don't care what color you are. I'm not prejudiced. I love everybody.
You like
but
white
when
people
you
too?
wrong, you wrong, you wrong, you wrong. He was ugly, and it's ugly, and it should be, and he's not like that. He's not totally unfair. Total unfair, Jesse. And I heard you say a few things I didn't like, but that's your opinion.
I haven't said anything yet.
Yes, you have.
Oh, you heard my radio show?
Yes, you have.
Oh, so you don't have a gun in that purse, right?
I wouldn't shoot nobody. I would shoot
You're gonna
nobody.
shoot me to wound me and not kill me.
Maybe I'll wound you, but I won't kill you. How can people take lives? And you know something? The union pay. Did you hear that?
What?
The union, they have a union. They have a union. They pay $500 to shoot someone. It was on the news last night. I said, this is totally
The
ugly.
union paid
Who? Policemen.
$500 to shoot somebody. So if I lived in Florida
Yeah.
and I shot someone, I get paid $500. Are they accepting applications now?
Hey, I don't know. I'll call and see.
I'm going to get me a
I'll
job.
call and see. It's not a funny thing. It's a human got killed.
Do you think it was
Suppose
racism?
that'd been my son. Suppose that'd been your son. Would you like that?
No, I wouldn't like it.
Thank you.
Was it racist?
I don't know what's racist or not.
But that's what they're calling it, racist.
Well, I don't know.
Oh, okay. So you don't necessarily agree with that?
No, I could say a little more, we shoot one another down and the police shoot us down and
Shoot us who?
our people of color.
The police are still shooting your folks?
Yeah,
The black people?
yeah,
So,
you know that. And I believe, and I'm saying my opinion,
yeah. And I'm not
I
honest
believe if
opinion.
that child was a white boy, a young man, they would not, and it goes around, it's all over. It's not in Florida, it's all over. And to me, if he was white, I believe he would have been considerate. He wouldn't have been dead, I can tell you that.
If you're white.
No, he wouldn't have been dead. But anyway, that's
So you do think it's a race issue
a
then?
God. That's a God. So he had to.
Yeah. Do you think they should be having the rallies that they are having right now?
I wouldn't go out there. I did click in and register on the voting. That it was unfair. That this guy should be arrested and put to justice,
Right.
But he should be walking around, free. He don't kill somebody's son, and he didn't. I'm looking at this child, 17 years old. Good-looking young man.
Obama said that could be his son.
Yeah, and he could have been his son, because they look alike. They do.
I wonder why that boy was light-skinned, because his dad is black and his mama black. Both are black at the Ace of
But that has
Spades.
nothing to do with that.
How he came out
See
light-skinned?
why you are so nosy?
Baby, that-
You know something? It's so
How
funny.
did he come out light-skinned?
It's so
huh?
funny.
Oh, I see that too in my family.
Yeah, I seen that in my family.
Yeah, that's weird how you can have two dark parents, and then somehow or another, half of the kids are light-skinned and half are dark. Oh, I think that's come from the blood that's been passed down from the white folks a long time ago.
Yeah, the white folks
Baby
got
daddies,
it.
man.
Yeah, maybe. Christine, what do you think about this?
Well, from what I know, just from reading or listening to the radio, is that it seems like this young man was only walking in a neighborhood, talking on a cell phone, was not hurting anybody, was not threatening anybody, and this guy just, the guy that shot him and killed him, had an idea in his head that just kept growing and growing, and from maybe one of the comments, they're always getting away, this type of a thing. This guy just took, I don't think it's even the law, into his own hands to stalk this guy, even after the 911 people were saying, stop, just leave alone, we're going to join you, meet us at the mailbox. And then this guy just went, I think if that was one of my kids, how do you ever recover from that as a parent? I mean, that just, your kid is doing what they're supposed to be doing, just he happens to be in a neighborhood where he is recognized as not maybe living there, and he might have, it's not like he couldn't be living there. This guy was just a bad guy.
You think we're racist?
I think that's probably a lot of it, yes. Just maybe this guy's a real I want to say, vigilante type of a person. So he was like,
You think George Zimmerman may have been a vigilante
well, he
type
is a
of person?
vigilante. He's signed up as a neighborhood watch type of a person, and so he I think wanted to be like in control and command or whatever, and I mean he was looking for some trouble here, and he found it, and from what I can tell, the people on the 911 call handled it very well. They listened to him very respectfully, told him what to do, what not to do, and this guy just overstepped it, and in his head he's thinking, oh, now I'm being threatened, and all of a sudden this poor kid and poor family, they've lost a son.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. I saw you agreeing with Christine. How do you feel about it?
Well, I think that I agree completely with her.
You agree
because
completely
I think
with
there
her.
was a motive there, because they told him not to follow the young man,
Right.
and he took it upon himself to follow him. I only want to say that I think it's still a double standard, because when it happened that these two black kids put gasoline on the little white kids, there wasn't a big uproar about it.
So what do you think about the rallies? You think they should be having these rallies that
No,
they're
I
having?
don't. I think they should let it, the law handle that.
Yeah. But you do think it has something to do with racism?
Well, I'm sort of weary about that man, George.
Zimmerman,
Yeah.
you're
because
weary about him?
Yeah, because he didn't have to do what he did, follow the kid and then shoot him. He could have shot him in the leg, like Ozzy said or something,
Yeah.
But he's not completely innocent. There's something going on there.
Who is not completely, George is not completely innocent? Oh, okay. And do you think the boy, Trayvon, was completely innocent?
I don't know. I don't know what happened there.
Oh, okay.
I just know what I hear, but I
Right.
don't really know what happened.
Yeah. Yes.
Personally, I felt greatly disappointed at how people reacted in this situation. The fact this man was in the neighborhood watch, wasn't a cop, so he had no authority, no experience to trace this young man, and probably the big problem is, as Geraldo Rivera may have mentioned, that the boy was killed with wearing a hoodie, and anybody, it seems like more often than not, a black kid wearing a hoodie is viewed with a bit of suspicion. But
Do you wear hoodies?
only when it rains. And besides, the biggest reaction, also, I'm concerned that, as I said, they was not trained to it, trained in the proper use of arms. So as the other.
Do you think it's racist?
Huh?
You think it's racist?
I don't believe so, but I don't think it can be avoided. As like I said,
You don't think what can be avoided?
the tinge of this whole incident being racist, because Zimmerman was of Latino descent. The boy who was killed was of black descent, and I don't have to tell you the friction between Latinos and blacks in many of the many countries, many places in this country. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
I think the rallies and stuff have a real political undertone to them. I think that anything that they want to stir the pot up and make things more racially charged, and to be able to use it in an election situation that we've got going. So, I mean, I don't think that this would have as much of a force, especially now that, it's come to light that the guy was actually not a white person.
Yeah, they're real disappointed that he wasn't a white man.
Right, I think it's
That's
all,
why they say he's a
pretty-
white Mexican.
pretty, more charged to do some political damage to,
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
First of all, I haven't really heard enough evidence, I mean, from his side. Nobody's heard of him. Everybody's
George
just
Zimmerman's
talking about
side.
him. Yeah, Zimmerman. He hasn't really had time to, nobody's really questioned him. He can't be in a position where he could even talk because it's like the
He's in
media
hiding
shuts
now.
him down. So, he hasn't really had his say. Nobody's heard his say, and they're all judging. But on the other hand, I do know some security guards, and I've talked to even policemen, and they're all on the defensive because people are so mean and angry today that any little word can trigger them, and you never know, because I'll tell you, I've seen these young kids out there, whether they're black, Mexican, or even white, they carry their guns and they carry their little weapons or whatever, even if it's a rock to throw at your car while you're driving. They will do something. And these young kids think that life is just, you could get away with whatever and say it today and you're going to get through clear. And you never know when something's going to fire back because of what you've done. And it could be over just a little tiny thing.
Do you think this incident was racist?
Do I think, I don't think, I think the guy might have had maybe something going on in the past, but I'm not quite sure because I haven't heard his side. But if you listen to the other guy who just got cleared of the charges for beating up that guy at the Dodger Stadium, did you see his story?
I heard someone, but I don't know the whole
Yeah, he
detail.
was in jail for like 10 months for the beating of that guy who was in the Dodger Stadium, and he came out and he's saying, wow, he says, they painted me to be the murderer, the killer, the angry person. He said, I've never even been to the Dodger Stadium. And nobody really knows.
Yeah, okay. How about you?
Mary.
Yeah.
Oh, me? Well, I don't know enough about it at all.
Oh,
I
okay.
just know I saw it, but I didn't,
You didn't pay it a lot of attention.
right, I mean, so the Zimmerman guy, they just released him from jail as though, but nobody really told his story.
Well, I saw one brief report of a friend of his who said that George is not a racist. He said he's been painted wrong.
Right, but I mean,
That's the only one I've
I never
seen.
really saw them write down,
Right.
this happened, that happened, the other happened, so there's no.
Are you working on your computer right now? What are you doing?
No, I was just looking at George Zimmerman now,
Oh, you're looking at it now?
yeah, so,
We found George.
yeah.
Yes.
You say, when you ask, is this incident racist, what do you, I'm not clear as to what you're asking.
They're
Are you saying were Zimmerman's motive racist?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you do have the audio of him calling this guy a coon, saying, these coons always get away.
Did he say that? Is that what he said?
Yeah, he said that on CBS.
They couldn't really understand for sure if
No,
he
it
said
said
cool.
Oh, man.
Oh, you
Sean
heard
Hannity-
cool.
No, Sean Hannity, I think it was Sean's show, got one of their best audio engineers actually replayed it, cleaned it up, and replayed it. It's clear he says coon. So he says,
What does cool mean?
you're
Raccoon.
from the South. Come on, you should know what that means.
But we don't look like a raccoon. I thought we looked more like monkeys.
It's a slur.
Oh,
Jeez.
so we look like monkeys and raccoons?
I wondered how he knew whether the guy was black if he had a hoodie on. How could he tell?
He was light-skinned black.
How could he tell what color he was if he had a hoodie? Did
It was
he?
close enough.
So, Hermes, you think this is,
I'm not
that,
saying that. I just wanted you to clarify. When
you think George Zimmerman shot this boy because he was black?
I didn't say that.
Do you think it had anything to do with race?
I don't know as far as, I don't think that's why he pursued him. I think this guy was a neighborhood watch volunteer. It's his job. I saw some reports of, it's his job to kind of keep an eye on the neighborhood. So as far as him pursuing this guy and keeping an eye on him, I don't think that was racially motivated. Now, when he starts using the word coon, that kind of gives you an idea of his mindset of what he thinks about, not necessarily all black people, but maybe this kind of, kid walking around in a hood.
So it sounds like you do, since the man, if he did call him a coon, it meant because he's racist.
I think he made, yeah, it sounds like he has some kind of bias or negative, image of blacks.
Have you called black people nigger before?
Have I?
No, have you?
Have I?
No, have you called black?
Can I take the, what is it, the fifth on that? I'll take the fifth.
So you do know an amendment.
That's a good one, Ken, you're right.
What do you say?
So have you ever called black people niggers? Or
Yeah,
any black
it
person
kinda-
a nigger?
And kind of joking.
Oh, you were
Two
joking.
other blacks, yeah.
I'm just joking, but you're a nigger. So you have called, look at Ernest striking his
You
head.
understand that, I don't know why you, but it's not like
So, but you have called a black, at least one black person a nigger.
to a friend, a friend or whatever, yeah. So,
Have you ever been angry and said, that darn nigger?
not like that, no.
You ain't said it quite like that, but you have said it.
He didn't say darn.
I've
I know.
said it.
I had to clean it up
I've said
before
it in
we went to
conversations.
Not an exact quote.
I've said it in conversations with friends where I'll call somebody, hey, what's up, man?
Right.
Yeah, that
But have you ever been mad at the blacks, and a black or any black has said, and called them a nigger in anger?
Yeah, I have.
You have. And so, does that make you a racist?
Does that make you a racist? Okay. Can you be a racist towards your own race?
Oh, Lord. Here we go with the definition.
No, I'm just asking.
Is. All depends on what is means.
Can you be a racist towards your own race? I don't know.
George is a Hispanic. He's a person of color.
He's part white, half Hispanic. But anyway, it doesn't matter. He's still Hispanic.
He probably want to be white, like Jesse.
So, ooh.
Sorry about Jesse.
And I have an uncle named Uncle Ruckus. And so, Ernest, when you said that you weren't racist at all.
No.
No, even though you said it in anger and you said it in fun, in jest.
Yeah.
Right, but you still were not a racist because you're black.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, Ed, what do you think about the situation?
I honestly don't know enough. I was looking at it from a different standpoint. I did not hear the transcript, right, the recording. I do know that if I was in a gated community, I would make sure the guards did not have guns. And if somebody chased somebody and called him whatever he did, just chased him out of the place, would we even have this discussion? Probably not, right? And so, but I don't believe that, carrying a weapon is something that you should be trained properly.
That's amazing.
So that's the way I look at it.
That's amazing that you're saying that.
It's Harvard right there.
Pat, do something about this.
No, I mean, I don't know what's amazing
But
about it.
let me tell you
if
why that's amazing.
But if I was
Let
a homeowners association, I had something like that, I'd say, no, nobody can carry a gun.
me tell you why
You want
that
to shoot
is.
somebody, call the cops.
May I tell you why that's amazing?
I can't imagine you won't.
I just told you guys that I spoke at this U.S. Constitution of Freedom rally just before we started the meeting with Navy SEALs and Air Force and Army men and a woman for sure. And their bravery. They fought so we can have the right to bear arms and protect ourselves here. But within the country, we're so softened down that even you would say, well, I don't want, if I lived in a gated community, I would not want the security guard to have weapons.
Right.
I would want the security guard to have weapons, and I would want to have one too.
No,
I
there's a
want every
difference.
household to have one.
There's a big difference
Every
between-
security guard to have one. I want the gatekeeper looking at the cameras to have one.
Well,
we
and
have
what comes
the
with
right
that?
to do that.
Training comes with that.
Yeah, he was trained.
Was he trained? All right.
Yeah.
See, I don't know. But
He had a legal weapon.
if he knew what he was doing and he was trained.
A permit.
But even if he
I think
wasn't
there's a difference
trained,
between asking somebody to defend you that isn't.
but even if he wasn't
Probably
trained, when I was growing up, it was like the Jews when they turned 15.
When you were growing up, you didn't live in a gated community. You
they
might
become-
have had your own gun for your own house.
No, I had a gun because of the fun of it and for the house. You could go hunting with them.
Okay.
It was known that you're going to have a weapon.
Yeah, but you didn't go hunting as a security guard.
No, but you had it in case you ran up against.
Yeah, if I ran up
for
against
your own
someone,
house. That's very different.
if I ran up against someone with a hooded thing on, they're looking
They
crazy.
weren't wearing hoods this time, at that time.
I would defend your ability to run somebody off your property with a gun.
But not to kill them.
Not if you're a security, no, I would not do that.
Amazing.
Because I don't believe that you would train a person properly to do the job.
I'm so sorry to hear this. I understand.
Because the security guards that I meet are not exactly people that you would imagine, A, have been trained at all, B, can even express what the heck happened during any kind of a discussion.
Let me say
Three,
this because
don't even stay awake between midnight and 8 o'clock in the morning. So these are not the kind of people I'm going to give a gun and mess up my whole, I mean, that gated community.
Let me just say this because of time. If you had your own, if everybody in the gated community had their own weapons, you don't need a security guard.
Well, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
That's different.
Yeah. If we were armed, we don't need a guard.
That's a different, to me, that's a different
Believe me.
situation.
That's the only we need a
But I'm not
security
going to
guard.
appoint somebody as a private person to go guard me with a gun, no.
All right.
They have a,
What do you say about this? Yes, sir.
they have a law there they passed in Florida. It's called Stand Your Ground. the
Yeah,
Stand Your
speak up a little
Ground.
bit for me.
They have a law, it's called the Stand Your Ground law, and that
Right.
you come up on an incident, you know, you don't have to run, and you know, you can defend yourself and you can
Right.
shoot. It's one of the reasons why he's not arrested.
They have that law in
He's
several
claiming-
states.
Yeah,
He's
And that's a
claiming-
good law to have.
that's not a good law to have.
Let me do this. What do you think about the situation?
I think he was racist.
You do?
Yeah.
And why do you think so?
Well, I met a lot of Hispanic people who are racist. A lot of Hispanic people don't like black people. But I was listening to the radio a lot, and I heard that he's been calling over like 7 months or something. Like it was break-ins, and I heard him say, "Oh, they're African American. They're African American. They're African." And I think it's like a lot of black people that live around there or something like that. And I think he just got tired and he tried to take the law into his own hands, but personally I think he went after the wrong person. And to me, stand your ground is if somebody trying to hurt you. He went after him. It's like, to me, he chased him down, and you can hear him screaming help in the back. I mean, to me, he not in fear of his life.
No.
So,
Do you you support the rallies that are happening here?
yes, I do.
Okay.
And usually I'm not even for like,
I know
oh, it's
you're not.
black.
Yeah.
I'm not really, but when I listened to the whole thing, it seemed like he was racist.
Oh, okay. Okay. Do you want to come in on this? No? What do you think about it?
Well, there's only one witness to the altercation. The other witness is dead. So what could have happened, what you're never supposed to get in a fist fight when you are armed. You're supposed to, when you approach someone, let them know, especially private security, that you're armed.
Did they have a fist fight?
No, yeah, it turns out.
No, they had an
they're saying
altercation,
now.
yeah.
Yeah, I heard that.
There was a fist fight.
Yeah, so you're not supposed to actually get into a fist fight at all. You're supposed to let the person know that, and I don't know if this happened, see, because nobody was there except these two.
There's a witness.
No, it was a witness that
There's a
said
witness
they were
that said
fighting
that.
behind him.
They saw after the fact that they were fighting, after the commotion, but they didn't see the beforehand where he may have warned him, don't approach. The kid may still have approached. Who
Right.
knows? And so when you're armed and somebody approaches you, they can take that gun and shoot you. So you are in danger for your life, even though you're the only one
He followed
armed.
him.
I
and
did-
He probably
I
turned
did.
around and said, "Why are you following
I
me?"
did
Right,
read
he
a...
could have turned around and said, why are you following me? There could have been heated words. He may not have told him that he's armed. He may have told him he's armed, and the kid still came forward.
I did hear a report where, I think 2 or 3 reports where this boy, Trayvon, attacked Zimmerman and beat him up because Zimmerman had blood all over his face and stuff and hair.
Yeah.
So I did hear that report.
Yeah.
He may have been offended that he was, called out a criminal, or even questioned that he may be, even though he's wearing, hoodies, which a lot of gangsters love to wear.
Yeah.
So, he may be offended by it.
Do you
and then
support the
they're gonna
rallies?
fight. No.
Do you think it's a race issue?
No.
Between
it's-
from Zimmerman toward Trayvon?
No.
You don't think it was racist?
No.
Even if you call him a coon?
You call people who are upsetting you all kind of names.
Yeah.
So he was upset that there's so much crime going on, and he's security. They kind of take that personally. Anytime you're security and there's still stuff going on, even though you're security, and they're getting away with it, it wears on you.
So even if you call him a coon, doesn't mean he's racist?
No.
You say no? Who said no? You agree to that? Yeah. Yes, Irving, you're jumping at a bit.
No, I was gonna say, there's a witness that says that the two had a fight. Somehow, I guess Zimmerman confronted him, and then there was a struggle. And there's audio of the shooting and somebody screaming help. It's not clear as to whether it was the kid screaming help or Zimmerman screaming for help. But there was some kind of a fight, and there's a witness that didn't want to be identified, but he's saying that the guy on the bottom was Zimmerman, and the person on top was the kid, and that's when the shooting happened. So, but we don't know. It may have been beyond getting offended. The kid might have been scared. If somebody's confronting you, at night, it may go beyond just being offended that he was being accused of something. So,
Okay.
we don't really know.
We don't know.
Anybody else want to comment on this before I put my little 2 cents in it? Yes, sir.
We do know that from reports that there was a certain number of break-ins or robberies in the area, or at the complex itself, right?
Right, a number of robberies.
And this guy was upset. He said something like, "These coons always get away," something like that. So he was upset, whether that was a racial thing or more of a frustration that whoever was there, and maybe mostly black folks, were the ones who were involved in the robberies. He was frustrated. Should he have gone after him? No. But you could see a little bit of his frustration of people coming to rob you and then getting away all the time. It's kind of a natural human reaction to want to grab him at a certain point, grab somebody who keeps robbing you.
Yeah.
So I place a lot of blame, I place most of the blame on these ridiculous black leaders that are out there that are so, there's so many young black boys out there committing crimes, and they are okay with that. I think that those leaders don't say anything about it. They never rebuke these guys.
I don't think they all care about it.
Oh, they don't care.
I don't think
They don't care. If they did care, they would be marching in every city in America.
How you know they're not caring? How you know they're not happy?
Because they don't take any action against it. They don't say anything about it.
You don't see them taking any action.
Well, let me ask you a question. If Al Sharpton, who's got a mouth as big as the world, you don't hear him open his mouth to say anything about the young black boys that are out there committing crimes, then something's wrong. And yet, I think this guy was killed in a way because he was a young black guy. It was a racial element. Because a lot of these black guys are committing crimes, in a way, he kind of died for the sins of other young black boys who have been doing this, and the older black people who have done nothing to say anything about this.
That's a very interesting point.
Yeah, good point.
Yes.
So whatever.
I say he fit that profile, with a hoodie and all that, so it makes him a suspect.
Very good point. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
Let me hold on 1 minute. So you think Zimmerman was racist toward Trayvon?
He might have been, I don't know if it was pure racism. There's a certain racial element of when you see, just like Jesse Jackson would be racist, because at some point in his career, he said, when I'm walking down a street, I hate to say this, he said that, I hate to say this, but when I'm walking down a street late at night and I'm scared, I look behind me and I see it's a white person, I feel relieved. Because you're more likely, just numbers game, that it's going to be a young black person who's doing violence against you versus another race. That's just a fact. That's just a numbers.
All right. And you are an Italian.
Yeah. You know what, Hispanic?
It's the white part that's the problem.
Yeah.
I got and Irish. Let's throw the white Irish in there.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
I had a Muslim friend of mine that I would
Hold on.
communicate with, and this is when I was learning
You have
about
what? I'm sorry.
Muslim.
Repeat what you said.
Okay, I had a Muslim friend who I met, and I considered her a friend because, we got to talking, and I was finding out what she's all about and everything. But then she told me one day, she says, be thankful that a lot of these black boys are selling bean pies out in the street under Farrakhan and doing and praying to God and going to Olive 3 times a day or whatever. She said, because if they weren't, they'd be in your house robbing you and in your cars and wherever else, because he took off all these people off the street. But, it didn't make any sense because, they were full of hate, towards other people, Christians and whoever.
Yeah, amazing. Amazing stuff.
Can we all just get along?
Can we all just get along?
I met a blind man too. This blind man told me he didn't understand.
This blind man.
A blind man told me.
Physically blind.
Physically blind, been blind from birth. He says, I don't understand what everybody's fighting about. He says, I thank God every day I can't see. He said, because I don't care about black, I don't care about white, I can't see it, I don't care. He says, people are people.
Yeah, that's right.
So
That's right.
he said all he saw was mean people or good people.
Okay. I'm looking at the clock here. President, you're both Mexican and black. What do you think about the situation?
I'm a racist.
Are you familiar with the situation?
Yes, I am.
Do you think Zimmerman was racist toward Trayvon?
I don't know. I don't know his motives. I don't know. I don't know what he was feeling.
How you feel about the rallies that are happening?
It's crazy. It's a bunch of rabble-rousers. Anytime you got, the big mouths in there, it's wrong. It's wrong. It's absolutely wrong when you got those guys in there. What is it? Jesse Jackson and Sharp. It's wrong. Yeah. And it's sad. It's a sad situation that the kid's dead. It's, I feel sorry for the family, and it's very sad. But he's already gone. You can't bring him back. And this whole thing that's come up from it is just a political ploy that they can use to, get more power.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you feel, this young man been dead a month. They didn't get justice in Florida. They had to take it somewhere else. They had to take it because as a dead black young man, for his Florida concern. So they had to take it around the world. It's probably going to be in Germany and France. It's ugly. It's an ugly thing. And Jesse, we need to look at it. It's ugly. What kind of motive this man had? I don't know what kind of motive he had to kill that young man. They said.
But you do believe it's racist?
I want to say that, but I don't know. It's ugly. I feel like the people, and Frisco was saying, a lot of miles demonstrating. They had to take it out of Florida because they wasn't doing anything about it in Florida.
How do you know they're not doing anything?
They're not doing. The man's not locked up, is he? It have
How
not
do you
been
know?
questioned.
Well, maybe he's not locked up because he's not guilty.
Guilty. Guilty.
How do you know? You're the
Praise
jury?
God. Let's go.
You're the jury. You convicted him. You've already been charged yet.
Right.
He need to be charged, and then the court, whoever, will find him guilty or not guilty. He's sitting right here.
But our political system is working right now to determine that. If you put him in jail before he's charged, then you got to let him go for free. You got to let him free.
Yeah.
And then he can sue.
Let me ask you, if it was your boy, he'll look like you anyhow. What do you think about this situation? Racist or non-racist? Have you been paying attention to it?
To some degree, yeah.
Okay.
It is hard to say, but as Martin said, when you're angry, you say whatever comes to mind.
Yeah.
And
have you ever used the word nigga?
My white half called my black half nigga this morning.
Oh, see that?
His ex-wife.
God. Oh my God.
They're all the same. They're all the same.
Oh my. The other side called cracker.
Hey, white cracker and all that stuff. Just know about white cracker. You know about white cracker?
That's right. How about you, Kelly?
Oh my God. It's just like so insane. Is he white? Is he Hispanic? It just shows you the insanity of identifying with race in the first place. The thing that really kind of I thought was telling. I saw a news report where they said they were talking to a fellow neighborhood watch patrolman who worked with George. He knew George. He was friends with him. He said there have been 8 robberies in the past 15 months. Most of them have been committed by young black men. So I have no doubts listening to George's audio that was playing into his mind. You know, this is the typical profile, and I think whoever said, you know, he was taking it personally that these people kept getting away, I think that played into it, and it could have led to him overreacting. So, you know, there was probably some sort of racial element. I don't know what kind of thing was in his heart, but it is really tragic that people are, you know, judge, jury, executioner, and the actual process hasn't started yet.
Absolutely. So I give everybody a chance to talk about it. Now I'm gonna put my little 2 cents in it. When I first heard about this story, you know how your mind works on you right away? Right away, my thoughts got busy, as though I was there. I was not there. I don't know what went down between the two. All right? So because I know how the thoughts operate, I know to let the police officer and investigators do their job and see what comes out of it. I trust that. And not prejudge the situation. That's the first thing I realized not to do. Because I am consciously being conscious of what I think, what my mind, because it's amazing what the mind gives you to believe. And then the mind will put you in a dialogue about something that you know nothing about. Right. It really will put you in a dialogue about a situation. And if you follow the mind, you'll be dialoguing about it like as though you were there looking at them. Because it doesn't want you to admit you don't know. This is for all of us who were not there. There were only 2 people there, apparently now maybe another one. You would think the first thing we all would say is that we don't know. We were not there. It's like the mind won't let you admit that you're wrong. You know how sometimes people can take advantage of you? And you'll get mad at the people for taking advantage of you? And so the mind will get busy, and it'll make you want to be mad at the people for taking advantage of you, right? It won't let you say, you know what, I'm getting what I deserve. Had I been conscious or if I not had a hidden motive, this would not have happened to me. It'll constantly give you thoughts to make you mad so that you can constantly blame somebody else rather than admitting you were wrong or you don't know. Have you noticed that? Yes. If you haven't noticed that, please notice that. We just had a dialogue in this room and we don't know what happened. We really don't know what happened. And neither do those people who are rallying. They don't know what happened either. I've been saying for the last 22 years now that not all, but most black people are brainwashed. And they're brainwashed with that one word, and that word is racist. That's why these rallies don't happen when it's black on black or black on white. It only happens when it's white on black, because you can't use the word racism if it's black on black. So you're not going to get anybody to go into a hypnotic trance and come out to rally. You're not going to get anybody to come out and rally when it's Hispanic on black, because that's not a racist term that they've used to hypnotize black people with. So that's why you don't have rallies, because there's no money in it. When black kill black, ain't no money in that. So Jackson and Sharpton and all those guys are not going to show up. If a Mexican kill a black person, there's no money in that. So they're not going to show up for that either. Plus, you can't hypnotize the blacks to show up for the rally. You know, because you can't use that word racism. For an example, I have to say that these rallies have nothing to do with George Zimmerman or Trayvon Martin at all. It's just a way of being, these 2 people are being used for personal and political gain. That's all that about. Absolutely all about. It ain't about racism. It ain't about George or Trayvon. It's about political gain. That's what that's about. Be not deceived. All right? And because if they truly cared about what was happening in Chicago last weekend, in one little neighborhood, 10 or 20 people, 10 people were murdered, black people, were murdered, including a 60-year-old black girl by other black people, and 39 people wounded in one neighborhood.
Good Lord.
What happened?
In one weekend?
In one weekend,
39 people wounded.
wounded, black on black crime, just last weekend.
What
Where's the outcry for that?
happened?
Nobody even knows.
Black on black violence.
I didn't see that.
You didn't hear about it in the news.
Right.
I caught it in the news because I pay attention to the news because I do radio shows and stuff. But you didn't hear anything about that. Where the mob for that, for those folks? In one neighborhood, in one weekend.
Any of them look like Obama?
10 people murdered, including one black girl, little 6-year-old black girl, and 39 wounded. Last weekend, the same week, this is supposed to be happening in Florida, right? Where are these folks? In New York City, now, the numbers may be higher than what I'm telling you, but because I don't have them in front of me, I'm going with the lower number. 80% of the violent crimes in New York City is done or done by black people. 80% in the whole city, in the whole New York City, 80% of the violent crime. I think it may be 90, but I'm giving it the low number.
In the whole city?
And the whole city are done by black people.
Where you get your statistics from?
Where's the outcry on that? And right now they are doing they're stopping these black guys and stuff in the city now because the crime is so out of proportion in their community. And the blacks are mad that these black people are being stopped and searched and stuff like that. They're calling it racial profiling. But if you got 80%, and I think the number may be higher, if you got 80% of a culture committing crime, what are you supposed to do? 80%. Where are these people rallying, emailing, and texting, and bringing people together for those folks? And why is it that I don't hear people talking about that, but when this mob mentality of these so-called protesters come along, this one focus is on this case. And I would be asking, where are you people? Why are you not in Chicago with the black on black crime? Or South Central LA? Or Detroit? Detroit is so bad because of the black on black crime. Ain't nobody there no more, except the criminals. Where the protest, there are whole neighborhoods where one family live on a block. Everybody else gone.
They probably lost the house and they gone.
Where are the mobs? Where's Sharpton and Jackson and all these Chibos people, whatever they be doing, texting folks?
No publicity.
That's right.
Where are those people for those folks? This is a scam. This is not about race. This is about scamming and using black people. And black people are so dumb and brainwashed, they don't think for themselves. They don't see what's going on. They don't see that they are being used. This is evil. It's ridiculous. I was looking at Roland Martin's show this morning because I wanted to see what they had to say about it. Roland Martin, you guys know who he is?
No.
He's a black, he has a show, a black man with a show on TV One. And he does this political talk show in the morning, Sunday mornings. And I knew they were going to be talking about this, and so I watched so I could commentary on it. Roland Martin had on a black hood. This is a black guy with a black hood on doing his show. And he opened up his show this morning by saying, and I don't have all of his words, I will get them and play them on my show. We are tired. We have done what they want us to do. I'm not repeating it exactly, right? But we have gotten an education. We have changed the way we speak. We have acted the way that they wanted us to act, and now we are tired. We are tired. He had a black hood on his head. We are tired. We are so tired, we're tired of being tired. And we're not going to take it anymore. We are declaring war.
Unbelievable.
There's going to be a war.
Unbelievable.
We are
It's going to be
declaring.
a worse war.
We're in a war already.
We are declaring war against racism.
Unbelievable.
Something that doesn't even exist. Racism, for the most part, is an illusion of Black Americans' mind. It's not even real. Well, he said that they are declaring war. And that's what these rallies are all about. It is so crazy, as I think Francisco said, these hoodie things, it is known that somebody said, gang members wear those things. And according to the report, this boy Trayvon had on a hood, right? And we all know that there is no way that we will encourage our children to dress like a gang member, knowing the danger of that. Why, if we know that it's for gang members dress that way, I would encourage my son or daughter to put on a hoodie because I want them to be safe. Because my common sense says you're going to put them in trouble. You're encouraging trouble. What are they doing? They're encouraging all the Black kids to wear hoodies now. Instead of saying, you know what, just for your own safety, don't wear those things.
Right.
That's common sense. But they want them to wear them so they can declare race war. That's why they wanted to do it. And these Black parents and Black people are so dumb due to their own anger that they're not overcome, they cannot see how they're being set up. We saw this same thing happen down in Louisiana. Remember that? The Gina 4 or something like that? Gina 16. They all rallied then. They rallied, they tweeted, they carried on. Everybody from Black kids from different colleges showed up. They collected a whole bunch of money from those folks, and then everything went away. And then they found out that those Black boys were as guilty as sin. They already knew it anyway, but because it was a white on Black situation, they showed up, collected truckloads of money, and left town. It's the same thing that's happening now. You gotta wake up and see what's going on. These Black folks don't want you to be free. They don't want you to be free thinkers. They want you to hate so they can use you. This is why God said we're not supposed to have leaders. He doesn't want another man to be your leader. He wants Christ to lead you because Christ would never lead you astray. Anytime you put a physical person as your leader, you end up with the Black community. There was an incident where somebody mentioned earlier that a little 7-year-old white boy had gasoline thrown up on him from 2 7-year-old Black boys. They went to the same school. 13 years old? The Black boy was 13?
No, the white kid was 13. I think the other kids were a little older, 17.
And they threw the gasoline on the little white boy, set him afire, and said, "You deserve it, Black boy."
White.
Yeah, you deserve it, white boy. Where are the mob? Where are the protesters?
Where are they?
Where are they on that? And if they don't love white people, how are they going to love Black people? If you don't love white people, you don't love Black people either. You're deceiving yourself. If you don't love white people, you don't love your own children. If you don't love white people, you don't even love God. Because how can you say you love God who you never seen? And here we are here together on earth, and we're choosing who we're going to love. These Jackson and Sharpton and these folks that put on this hoodie rally, they don't love Black people. This is not about love. This is hate. There's nothing good about what these people are doing. You're being used by these so-called Black leadership. You need to start being your own person, your own man, your own woman, thinking for yourself. And the only reason that they can convince you that this is a race issue without you even knowing anything about it, you have to have that anger too to be convinced. People who are free can't be convinced of that kind of stuff. They need proof. But if you're angry, it's easy. Oh yeah, this is a race, because they call them a coon. When we're running around here calling each other niggas and all kind of words when we're mad, there's nothing new. That's what anger does. It makes you say things that are crazy. But you gotta wake up. I don't know what I'm gonna do to get you to wake up.
Get rid of your anger. Get rid of your anger, darling. Work on your anger.
It's just absolutely amazing. Those people don't care about anybody. Leaders don't care about anybody from the government on down. And I don't care what the color. The moment they become your lead, this is why in the government, they work for us. They're not our leaders. They're our employees. And we tell them what to do. They don't tell us what to do. That way they can't control us. But now we reverse that order. They're telling us what to do, and it's a mess. And then in Florida, they're trying to change the Second Amendment law. You can carry your weapon.
Stand your ground.
Stand your ground thing, weapon. I wouldn't want them to do that, because in every city where your weapons have been taken away from you, hell has broken loose. That's why Detroit is as it is, because those folks don't have the right to bear arms. Go over to South Central. The folks in the home, the decent people don't have weapons, and the gang members and the violent people, the out-of-control children know that. And I know of stories where ladies were coming home from work, getting out of their car, and they were being approached by these gangsters and being robbed before they even get into their home. You think those gangsters would approach them if they knew that they were armed?
That's right.
This is crazy. And so now they're saying, oh, we got to change the laws. If they change the laws, then everybody in Florida is going to be robbed, raped, and killed, because they're not going to be armed. Florida is one of the safest states to be in right now, because people have the right to bear arms. And blacks and whites are being killed by these black thugs. And I don't know what happened with that boy situation. I wasn't there. But we need to wake up and not go with what we think. We got to go with what is right. And what's happening with these so-called rallies, only when it's a black on white, white on black situation, it's evil. Ain't nothing good about it, and ain't nothing good going to come out of it. It's just going to divide the races even more so. That's what it's going to do. It's going to divide us, which will give more power to the traitors of good, and then we're all going to lose our rights in all kinds of ways, because we're not going to be together as children of God, even black and whites. This is evil, folks. There's nothing good in this, and ain't nothing good going to come out of it. And it's not about racism. I don't care what they say. And it's not about the love for Trayvon, because if they love Trayvon black, they would love those black kids that are being gunned down every day in the inner cities by other black people. Where's the love for those folks? Those parents are suffering. Oh, I feel so sorry for the parents. Those parents are suffering too when they're losing their teenage boys and girls. They're 16-year-old kids. Why no one care about and have compassion for them? Oh, but you have compassion for Trayvon parents. Oh, I didn't have so much compassion. You don't even have compassion for those folks' parents, for that boy parents at all. You just say it because it seemed nice to say it. And then I think they made a mistake by joining forces with these traitors too and rallying, because it did take away the opportunity for this thing to be handled in the proper way, and then for us to have compassion for the parents. Now they look like racist parents. Look like they too are using their sons, not realizing that they're hypnotized, and that Jackson and Sharpton and Roland Martin and all these godless black preachers are using them. Because if you love, you're going to march for all races of people, not just when it's one particular situation. And then they won't even admit that the black boys and girls are out of control. They won't even admit that. They say, oh, the policemen are, oh man, I got to read something. Hey, come and read something for me. They said the policemen are racially profiling. But they won't say, well, they're profiling because we haven't taught our children to have sense. We haven't taught them values, so they're out of control. Come on, Ed. I want you to read, we're running out of time. I just want you to wake up, folks.
You ran out of time.
Okay, I want you to read, we went over with the taping today because we started late. Read Romans chapter 8, starting with verse 28, all the way through 39 to here. Start here first.
We are well aware that God works with those who love him, those who have been called in accordance with his purpose.
Ernest, hold on with your announcement. I want her to hear this.
Everything to their good. He decided beforehand who were the ones destined to be molded to the pattern of his Son, so that he should be the eldest of many brothers. It was those so destined that he called, those that he called, he justified, and those that he has justified, he has brought into glory. After saying this, what can we add? If God is for us, who can be against us? Since he did not spare his own Son, but gave him up for the sake of all of us, then can we not expect that with him he will freely give us all his gifts? Who can bring any accusation against those that God has chosen? When God grants saving justice, who can condemn? Are we not sure that it is Christ Jesus who died? Yes, and more, who was raised from the dead and is at God's right hand, and who is adding his plea for us? Can anything cut us off from the love of Christ? Can hardships or distress or persecution or lack of food and clothing or threats or violence? As Scripture says, for your sake we are being massacred all day long, treated as sheep to be slaughtered. No, we come through all these things triumphantly victorious by the power of him who loved us. For I am certain of this, neither death nor life, nor angels, nor principalities, nothing already in existence, and nothing still to come, nor any power, nor the heights, nor the depths, nor any created thing whatever will be able to come between us and the love of God, known to us in Christ Jesus our Lord.
Thank you, man. We're out of time, huh? I'll pick up on it next week. Thank you. Thank you, guys and ladies.
For more information, to purchase a copy of this program, or to make a donation, visit us on the web at bondinfo.org or call 1-800-411-2663. That's 1-800-411-BOND.
You're already home.